Liam, let's just start with Lewis, and really difficult news for everyone. Difficult news for Lewis, of course, as an individual, but something that will affect the camp. Just a few words on Lewis, if you would.
Yeah, obviously, really difficult news in terms of for him, his family, which he's a first and foremost, he's a terrific character, and brings a huge amount to us and the changing room and the culture that we have here. So yeah, it's tough news, which sometimes a little reminder, bigger picture perspective of the things, the day-to-day things that sometimes we stress over and we worry about. Actually, there's always bigger picture things sometimes to keep in the back of your head. So he has all our support, all the club support. We'll do everything we can to support him through it, him and his family, and I'm sure from us internally as well as externally, there'll be a huge amount of support and love that goes out to him and his family, and rightly so.
And we're aware that David Martin's been training, getting fit with the squad, with the club, and he'll be helping out, won't he, in the meantime?
Yeah, of course. That he's still keen to play. I think it's important to stress that with Dave. He's not now stepping in to become a coach. That's not the case at all. It's not his ambition at the moment. So I think he's been training with us for a period of time. He's developed a good relationship with Lewis, with Jamie and the other goalkeepers here. So we've had a chat with him, given that he's familiar with us and how we work, and he obviously has a relationship with the lads that are already in place to help us out in the short term. So yeah, but at the same time, I think it is, especially with Dave's ambitions, I think it's important to stress this. He's still looking to play as well. So it's not him now transitioning to be a coach.
Just a brief reflection before we talk about Watford in the cup. Just a brief reflection, just an air of frustration and annoyance that you couldn't see it out and take another 3 points on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the emotion I think straight after the game from everybody involved. I think, but what's important is to step back and see the bigger picture. If you're going into the week, to take 4 points from the week, I think it's not a bad return at all. I think quite have to be quite realistic with that. Taking 4 points is good for where we're at the moment. And then you have to analyse the performances, and I think that's probably the frustration, because of probably how good so many elements were first half. If I jump back to when we played Aki a year ago and we didn't have the same level of control or the same quality in the build-up that we had. At the weekend, for example, the difference is we finished our chances last year that we had. This weekend we didn't. And if, I watched the game back. I clipped it, I coded it, looked at all of it, overanalyzed it, probably over-reflected on every single little detail as I do. And what hit me first half was, there was some really good moments. The structure was good that we didn't see against Port Vale. The quality at times was excellent, which again we didn't see at Port Vale. And we got into some really dangerous areas. We created numerous opportunities that should lead to a goal or a goal scoring opportunity at the bare minimum, given that so many examples of us kind of being 1v1, 2v2 on their last line going through, and we just didn't execute the final bit. And that's where the frustration then probably comes second half, where we turned into a bit more of their game. We didn't have that control, we didn't have that quality, we didn't show the composure on transition that we needed to, and turned into a bit of their game, which doesn't suit us. So probably a little bit, like I say, the mixed emotions afterwards, but being able to step back, bigger picture, I'd be more alarmed if I didn't see the stuff I did first half.
Is that one element that in some ways the side needs to learn to deal with sides like Accrington, and not allow them to play their game, not allow your side to be kicked off the park, bullied, whatever you call it.
Yeah, you have to. I didn't feel that we got bullied or anything like that. I felt it was more we just lacked composure on transition. So rather than being able to connect passes and keep it when we landed on a first contact or a second ball, we turned it over again. So then we made it, like I say, a transitional game. So I think we definitely have to go through them. I think I said it afterwards at the weekend and spoke to the players about it. The challenge we've just got is there's no time to decompress and actually really consolidate and reflect on some of the experiences we've had, just because we're strained to the next game. So rather than a Saturday week where you can actually almost breathe a little bit, which some of the guys are being asked to do completely new things and having loads of experiences, which we don't actually have much time to really look at. We have Saturday and then bang, we're straight into Watford today. So we don't have that opportunity to train on it or to look at it or to reflect on it. And then that I'm sure. And like I said, when I've seen some of the bits, in all of the games, I think there's so many aspects where for me we can only continue to improve and get better the way we work.
Is your side improving?
Do you think so? I think so. I think definitely. I think when I look at so many aspects of the work that we're doing and what we're putting, what we're asking them to do. Look at the build up against Port Vale versus the other day, and I know it's just a week, but the structure that I come back to in terms of in the team and the understanding of how to do it against a really difficult Aki press. Which if you look at Accrington traditionally, they've always started the season well because of how hard, how physical, how much they want to run. They cause lots of teams problems, and I thought we went through them really well numerous times. So that I'm not sure we would have been able to do it as consistently. At the start of the season, when I think at Cambridge or games like that, we weren't quite at that level with a bit in and around the penalty box. Whereas we got into so many dangerous areas at the weekend, we just lacked quality on the final bit. So yeah, a long-winded way of saying I think we're improving, we're heading in the right direction, but I'm also realistic. We still have a huge amount of work to do.
It's going to be a test tomorrow night, isn't it? Watford, former Premier League side, and they had a pretty dismal season in the Premier League, but they still have bags of quality throughout their side now. Whether they'll rotate, whether they'll change, nobody knows. But even if they do, they're still going to be a force to be reckoned with tomorrow night.
Yeah, of course. A huge amount of quality, huge depth. But then, that brings another angle of the game, that the pressure's on them, the expectations on them. It's almost a free hit for us. We don't have too much to lose in terms of going out and doing us, which is the biggest challenge for the players. That we get in tomorrow is go and play us, go and play our style, go and believe in our qualities and back yourselves to arguably we've got players that are ambitious that want to play at higher levels in the future. Well, then go and show that against this level of player. So. We're not sure what they'll do, but same as most weeks, the attention will shift back to us. So I'm keen to see what we do, how we go about it, and what quality we can do against them.
And in your opposite number, Rob Edwards, another young man in charge of the side of Watford. Have you crossed paths with Rob at all in your career?
No, we haven't actually. We haven't. But when I saw his Forest Green team numerous times last season and really enjoyed watching them. To be fair, so. He did a terrific job obviously last season, and they've made a good start, and he's made a good start in the Championship. So, it'd be good to meet him, and I'm sure share some experiences tomorrow.
Any injury issues that we don't know about? Anything troubling you at the moment?
Me? I'm fully.
Hamstrings are my
My
hamstrings are a bit tight. No, everyone's okay at the minute. Obviously, it's good to have Dan Harvey and Will Grigg back at the weekend out getting some minutes. So that was a real positive, I think, for the group. Two big players in terms of quality, character, and experience. So it's good to have them back in and around it. But the rest are all good. It's now just a case of you get through the weekend and quickly get some to recover, ready to go again, because it is so relentless.
Thanks, Liam. Appreciate it.
Just on those returning duo, is it too early almost to thrust them straight back into starting roles, given that they've been out for a little while?
Yeah, I think it's one of those that for me will be gauged by the information back from the player, what the game looks like, and there's a balance to pushing and stretching them, but keeping them safe so we've got them for the long term. So the aim was to build up their minutes quickly. We want them in back in and around it and contending for starting positions extremely quickly. So we do want to build them up. So yeah, they do a lot of work to get them back ready to train. So for me, in the volume of games we've got, it's actually quite easy to quickly get them up to speed.
Another goal from midfield on Saturday, obviously with Bradley Johnson's couple in the week earlier. I mean, it's always great to have goal scorers from all over the pitch, but in that area in particular is going to be important for you, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's one thing when I look at it. Even set pieces. Centre half stocks was contributing. I think that's really important that they do. Front players as well, obviously. Wing backs. It's when you look at it, whatever system we play, whatever personnel. I think it's less and less common now that you're heavily reliant on one person to score your 30+ goals. I think the spread into how teams play now and the style that we want to play, that the goals need to be spread throughout. So that's the challenge. That's the next bit. It's the hardest bit. Is obviously now converting some of the good play in the good areas we got into at the weekend, especially into goals ultimately.
Thank you very much.
The club sold around 1,400 tickets for tomorrow night's game. Quite a good following once again away from home.
Yeah, terrific. The guys on the road, the fans on the road have been terrific. And it means a lot. Means a lot. It's that connection we spoke a lot around last season is still developing that in terms of still in the early stages of trying to create that, and it's down to us. It's on the players to give the fans something to enjoy when they come and follow us. So we'll be going out the bare minimum as we'll work as hard as we can. We'll compete as hard as we can, and we'll try and play to our style. So the support's really appreciated from everybody at the club, players, staff, everybody.
And the game obviously is up against quite a big team in the Championship, obviously Watford. It must be quite difficult then to balance rotating your players that might be quite keen to play in this game when you've got league games so thick and fast coming.
Yeah, I think if you look at the recruitment we did in the summer as well, for me we've added depth and potential to the team. So I think what we're in a position to do is provide some opportunities, keep a level of consistency, but provide some opportunities. And I think it's them opportunities and experiences that will accelerate that that turning that potential into performance. So we'll make a couple of changes in terms of that. But I think it's for me, whoever we pick, it's around players understanding their role within the team and what's expected of them.